go ahead and bring up our first presenter of the night. My handy dandy notes here. All right. Okay. Charles Scheinblum is a weekend comic, 3-time SF marathoner, and an amateur surgeon. Charles, I have some follow-up questions for you. Bring him on up here, Charles.
Charles!
You guys ready for Pika Cashew? I came from work and I completely forgot to change of clothes, so excuse the business casual. Are you guys ready? Because I'm not. All my life, I have struggled with anxiety around meeting new people and talking in small groups or in large groups, and definitely with public speaking. And I don't think that that's unique to me at all, but it's something that I've dealt with for my entire life. And the problem with public speaking is it's very public. And if you go into a public speaking opportunity unprepared, you're going to run out of things to say, and you're going to end up with something called dead air.
That's it.
According to a study, the second biggest fear among Americans is death. The first, of course, being public speaking. And I think that Jerry Seinfeld put this best when he said, on average, at a funeral, Americans would rather be in the casket than delivering the eulogy. I think that throughout my life, I have, at one stage or another, adhered to this. And so when I was a kid, I was not very cool, I was not very outgoing. Don't laugh. But when I got to high school, I really wanted to reinvent myself. And I thought, what better way than changing your name? So it's not going to be Charles, it's going to be Chaz with a Z. And it was early 2000s. So when I got to gym class day one, they were saying, they're going through everybody's name. And I was going to say, actually, it's Chaz with a Z. And everybody's going to applaud. And so I got really nervous about this. And when they finally came to me, they said, is Charles here? I said, actually, it's Chiz. And across the gymnasium, a kid goes, Jizz? And luckily, Jizz didn't stick, but unfortunately, Chaz with a Z did. So here's Chaz with a Z in his natural habitat. He was a good kid. Honestly, a better person than I am now. But so anyway, when I got to be in my early 20s, I moved to Los Angeles, and I thought, this is an opportunity to reinvent myself yet again as an adult. So here you'll see me adulting in Santa Monica, there. And when I moved to LA, I didn't really know that many people, so I was signing up for different things, and I signed up for yoga. But the problem is I don't speak Sanskrit, so I just chose the first class that worked with my schedule, which was the 10:30 prenatal class. And as it turns out, it was not a coincidence that I was the only man in the room. It was actually prenatal, it was pregnancy class. And so this is another setback for awkward Charles, with an S, as an adult. So last year, I worked really hard on Better or Work's senatorial campaign. It didn't end up working out for him. But this year, he ended up coming to San Francisco to promote his presidential campaign. Spoiler alert, that also did not work out for him. But he came to speak, and right beforehand, I got this great photo with him, and I was just like, all right, I worked so hard on your campaign. I texted for hours and hours. He's like, oh, that's great, thank you so much. And then he went up and he spoke for like an hour, and then at the end, they were like, if anybody wants to come up and be Beto, just line up. And I was like, you know what? He spoke for an hour, there's 200 people here, I'll just line up. And so when we got to the front, he totally remembered me. He's like, why are you here again? And there was a picture of him asking me that, and he realizing what's happening, and totally whipping a handshake. Yet another setback for Charles as an adult. But as I accumulate these stories of follies from my life, I realize I actually really enjoy making fun of myself. And on a whim, I went to this thing called The Moth, and I told this story, the prenatal story, and people love it. And the good thing is that that story basically tells itself, which is important, because when I get nervous, it's really tough to pronounce words correctly. And lo and behold, I end up winning, which was really cool. And at the end, the producers came to me and they're like, congratulations on winning. You get to go to the championship, which is a year from now. We're gonna find 9 other people for you to compete against. I was like, that's great. And they're like, yeah, it's in front of 1,400 people. I'm like, that's not great. So I spent the next year writing and practicing, and I went to the championship and I had a great time. So here I am in front of 1,400 people, and I had such a good time that it's actually become a hobby for me. And I go and I speak almost once a week. It's what I do in a lot of my free time. But don't let that success fool you. I am still very much afraid of public speaking. And now I have this device on my on my wrist all day, so I can quantify this. So all day I get these alerts where my watch is super concerned about me. Because it turns out, it doesn't matter if you're being chased by a lion or talking to a mid-level manager about your weekend, your body produces the same chemicals, adrenaline and cortisol, that pumps through your veins. So here I am at work talking about probably nothing. So I also, a few years ago, I ended up, wait, you know what, now's a really good time to check. And 145, so actually higher than it was in rehearsal. And for context, my base rate is about 63, so this is a little bit, if I seem calm, that's false. So a few years ago, I ended up getting really into marathons, and I don't really recommend running a marathon, but I ended up becoming an ambassador for the San Francisco Marathon. So here I am finishing my first race and showing off my armpit hair to everybody that'll look. And so as an ambassador, they were like, hey, can you come speak to all the trainees? And there's like 100, 150 people. I was like, all right, sure. And it was really fun. I got to speak about something I'm really passionate about. I'm passionate about marathons and running and athletics, and I got to inject a lot of humor into it. But as it turns out, it's basically just taxing on my body to talk about running as it is to run around the perimeter of the entire city. So again, I have this, this device that can quantify that. So on the left, you'll see my heart rate when I was running the marathon, a nice 137, right in that cardiovascular zone. On the right, you'll see my heart rate when I was talking about running, right in that nice anxiety zone, 132. Again, lion on the left, mid-level manager on the right. So how do I compete with this? Because obviously I'm up here. So I learned about something called box breathing, which is something that the Navy SEALs do, and they're obviously dealing with a lot worse things than I am. So you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and repeat. It helps you take like 15 BPM off your heart rate, so it comes down to a nice, manageable 130. And I also like to remind myself that the audience is more afraid of me than I am of them. So, this is a hobby of mine, and it turns out that I'm still very much afraid of running 26 miles in a single clip, still very much afraid of public speaking. But it turns out that through practice and perseverance and purchasing a lot of antiperspirant, you can participate in otherwise ill-advised hobbies. Thank you.